Ask Tink, ask Tink. If you have a question, ask Tink, ask Tink.
Hello, Skywalkers. This is Margaret Kerry, the official fairy pod mother on Skywalking through Neverland. Some of you may even know me as the animator's reference model for Tinkerbell in Walt Disney's original Peter Pan film. I am here to give advice and wisdom and spread to you my faith, trust, and pixie dust. Or if you just want to ask me a question about my career or anything from Tinkerbell's point of view, then I'm here for you too. Let's start things off with a timely question from Rob Dellinger. Rob asks, do you have any advice for me as I release my new album of jingles, seeing as you are currently putting out a new book? Wow! Do you have about 30 hours you're not doing anything with, Rob? Because it's really extensive now. I mean, it used to be so simple. You immersed yourself with the people that you knew and or got a cause that you wanted to work with, and then they would help you get your album out there. I'm thinking that when you're saying it's an album of jingles, it's like, I wonder where the yellow went because I brushed my teeth with Pepsodent. Is that the kind of jingle that you're talking about? No. Evidently, there are music pieces that will be at the beginning of different episodes. That's exciting. So you've put them together with an album. I'll bet you it's electronic. I'll bet you it's where I'm an internet imbecile. I probably couldn't upload it, download it, sideload it, or swipe it, you know? So how would I go about doing that? I would take a little special notebook, not your phone, a notebook, and write down every name that you come across in reading Variety, in reading Adweek, in reading anything on the news, a name and a company, and make this huge list of maybe 30 or 40 people. It's amazing. In 3 days you can have it. And then you take the time to figure out who to contact and what to do it. And then you have somebody write a wonderful little marketing piece that you can send. A marketing piece that tells these people not the details of what you do, but how it's a benefit for them to know you and to know what you do. And so I've given you your assignment. Let me know how it works. And we now have a question from Patti Hammond. She has a Tinkerbell-related question. How often did you model for Tinkerbell? Was it a one-day job, or was it over several weeks, days, months? Well, it was the most interesting time. It was the most interesting time for everybody because television had been coming along. I was doing 2 television shows at the same time. I was doing at the Almost Broadcasting Company. That's what the people who worked there called ABC at the time, because it was the baby network, and I was doing the family show with Charlie Ruggles. Then I had my own show on Channel 13, which is called Teleteen Reporter. So there were 3 days a week, if not 4. So what I did was I would get a call from Mark Davis over at Disney Studio and say, would it be convenient? He would say, would it be convenient for you to come to work next Tuesday? Because he knew that that was the one day that I was not prepping for another show or on the air at night. And I would say, no, I'm doing a radio show that day. He said, how about the following week? And I'd say, yes. So he'd say, what time do you want to come over? Can you imagine? Can you imagine being asked what time? I would have told him going to Disney Studios, how about 5 o'clock in the morning? I'll be right over. It still is the second happiest place on earth. Working for Disney Studios, at least for me, was just fabulous. Overall, it lasted about 9 months that I recollect. It might have been a little longer than that. It might not, but right around in there. So I would go in when they got a new storyboard and her new scene of what they wanted to have been okayed. And then I could sit down with Mark Davis and his drawings, and he would show me what he wanted her to do. And then I'd step out in front of the camera, and he'd say, "Be Tinkerbell, Margaret." And I'd say, "Okay, Mr. Davis." And finally, we hear from Brian Sims, who says, this is very, very scary. "Really, you can ask anything. I just love listening to her voice on the podcast, and whatever she says is interesting anyway." Oh dear, I just warned everybody because I am a storyteller. Let's see. Ask me anything. Well, one of the things that I love to say is I think a lot of people forget that Mark Davis, who designed Tinkerbell and drew most of her action in the picture, he was so wonderful. He also did Mrs. Darling. And when you see the picture again, and I hope everybody is running for their little library of DVDs so they can see it again, but just watch how he changes her from Tinkerbell, or she's different from Wendy, or how the little things that he does and the beautiful line that he draws. And then remember that he also did Cruella de Vil. I mean, I got to work with a genius, and thank you for asking that question, and I'm going to make it short, Brian. I really am, and thank you for the compliment. Well, Skywalkers, that's all the Tink time we have for today. I would like to thank Rob Dellinger, Patti Hammond, and Brian Sims for sending in their questions and concerns. And if you would like me to spread some faith, trust, and pixie dust, send your questions to share@skywalkingthrough Neverland.com. Bye.